In this video, we're going to be having a look at some algebraic transpositions involving squares. This is the second video that I'm doing on this topic. It's a little bit more difficult than the first, but the principles will be the same. Once again, this is about learning a method that is going to help you solve any question. So it's not just about solving these questions specifically, it's about being able to have a reliable method that you can solve any transposition question that is similar to these. If you wanted to go ahead and have a go at these questions, you can just pause the video and then see if we get the same solution. And if not, I'll show you. You can look through and see how I get mine. Anyway, let's get into it. On the left-hand side here, we've got transpose the equation to make B the subject of the equation. So we've got to make it B equals something. Now, the first thing I notice here is we've got B here. It's B squared. It's under a square root symbol, and it's also combined with this other term C squared. So we need to work out what the first step that we're going to take is. Now, looking at this square root thing, this is where I'm going to start. So I'm going to put a bracket around the whole expression and I'm going to square everything. And since I've done that to the right-hand side, I must do the same to the left. And then I could rewrite the expression. This side is just going to be a squared equals. Now, this square root symbol is going to reverse this squared, so they're going to cancel each other out, and I'm just going to be left with b squared plus c squared. Now, my next step to get b by itself is I'm going to reverse this plus c squared. So because it's plus c squared, I'm going to say minus c squared, so that will total to 0, and I've got to do the same on the other side. Now I have a squared take c squared equals, these two are cancelling each other out now, and I've just got b squared. But I don't want b squared, do I? I want b by itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a square root of that side and a square root of that side. Now I'm going to rewrite it as, I'm going to swap the sides now as well. So instead of square root of b squared, the squared and the square root cancel each other out. So I'm just left with b equals. And what's on the other side is going to remain exactly the same. Square root of a squared take c squared. That's my final answer. Rightio, let's have a look at the next one. So we've got a equals square root of all of those things that come after that. And we have to solve for a. Okay, so that's buried in here, right in there. Got to get it out. So once again, it's actually a very similar start to the last one, because we've got this square root here. We want to reverse that. So I'm going to square that in whole side. And then therefore we have to square this side as well. So when I rewrite that, I've now got a squared is equal to, now the square root and the squared cancel each other out, so I'm just left with s. Outside of s take a, s take b, s take c. Now people can get a bit overwhelmed by looking at all of this stuff, but all you have to do is just keep taking the next step, keep taking the next step. So let's have a look what the next step's going to be. I want a by itself, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by all the things that I want to be left just with this term. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by this term and this term and this term all in one go. So let's have a look what that looks like. So I could put all of that over the top of S, and then this S take B and S take C. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing on this side. S take B, S take C. All right, so I'm going to rewrite this side is A squared over S take B, S take C is equal to. Now this side, I'm going to cancel out S, is going to cancel out with S. S take B is going to cancel out with S take B. S take C is going to cancel out with S take C. So on this side, I'm just left with S take A. Now, since I don't want a negative A, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add A to each side. So we end up with A on the other side, but it's going to be positive now. So add A to this side, and I'll just have to squeeze this in, add A. And then if I rewrite that, it's going to look like this. A squared over S outside of S take B, outside of S take C, plus A equals S. And on this step, what I want to do is I need to reverse this entire term. So I'm going to get this onto the other side so that A is by itself. So how we do that is we're going to subtract A squared over S outside of S take B, S take C, and then I'll do the same on the other side. Subtract A squared over, I hope I can fit it in, S outside of S take B, S take C. All right, now that looks like a lot, but when we rewrite it, it is actually going to end up being quite simple. So this is going to cancel out with that, and we're just going to be left with A equals, and the other side is going to be written pretty much as it is. S take away A squared divided by S take B, S take C. And that's my final answer. Here's a couple more. You could go ahead and do these on your own. Just pause the video and I will work through the solution as well, probably a little bit more quickly this time. But you'll see the answers at the end that you can check if you do it on your own, you can just check the answers at the end of the video. All right, so this left-hand side, transpose the equation to make x the subject of the sentence equation. All right, I'm going to just go through this quite quickly. So x is in here, so we need to, let's take h off both sides, take h, rewrite it, b plus 2g, take h equals x squared take c squared, and those two are going to cancel each other out. I can also get rid of those brackets. So I'm just going to go boom, boom, because we don't need them anymore. All right, and because we've got my next step, because we've got negative c squared, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add c squared, and I'll add the same to the other side, and then I can rewrite that as b plus 2g take h plus c squared equals x squared. And since I want singular x, not x squared, I'm going to put a square root over both of those. And then I can rewrite it as, I'm going to put x on this. This side I'm just going to keep it exactly the same for now. b plus 2g take h plus c squared equals, and these are going to cancel each other out, so we just end up with x. Or we could write it as x equals square root b plus 2g take h plus c squared. The one on the other side, we want to solve for L. All right, first step, let's divide by h. And then rewrite it, c over h equals a over L squared. And these two are just cancelling each other out. Now next step is we will do square root of that and square root of that, because we want to get rid of this 2 here, squared. So this one will be, this side's going to be written exactly the same. Square root of c over h is equal to, now square root and our squared will cancel each other out, so we're just going to have a over L now. And I want to get L out of being a denominator into the numerator, so I'm going to multiply both sides by L. Multiply by L. That's going to give me L times by square root of c over h, which is equal to, these are going to cancel each other out, so I'll just have a. And now, because we wanted L by itself, I'm going to divide both sides by square root of c over h. That's just one term. Divide by square root of c over h. And then that's going to give me a final answer of L is equal to a over square root of c over h. You could also have a square root c over h as the other possible answer for that.